Welcome back. Welcome back. Joseph James here. It's just before 11:30, just before we close up the day here for our trial members in the trade room today. We've had a fantastic day today. What a difference a day makes. If you were like us yesterday and wanted to pull your hair out over the lack of consistency in the volume on all the markets yesterday, boy, was today a shot in the arm, huh? Wasn't today a great thing? Monday and Tuesday, just as we thought this week, we came back from the holiday break a little bit hungover from the L-tryptophan. I think everybody had a little too much stuffing, and it felt like yesterday in this trade room on Tuesday morning, it felt like the traders had taken the day off. It was very interesting to see. Now this morning we came in Wednesday morning. Wednesday mornings are always we're looking at crude oil, because usually we have crude oil news on Wednesdays at 10:30. So we were immediately looking at crude oil futures this morning. And this morning we did a great job at planning our trades and trading our plan. Now I want to remind you guys that these markets move really fast. And since they move really quickly, we want to prepare for the trades before we go take the trades. I always tell people it's a lot like knowing there's a quiz every day and we need to prepare for the quiz. I want to make sure that I take a look at what questions are likely to be on that quiz and be ready for whatever the market throws at me. So at 8 o'clock Eastern Time each morning, I open up my trade room. We are disciplined to follow a very specific plan. Remember this checklist? This checklist today was the secret to our success. Now, the checklist didn't pull the trigger. The checklist didn't take the profit targets, but the checklist I used this morning told me exactly where to get in, where to get out. Guys, that's my favorite part about this trade room, is that no matter whether you're a brand new trader with no experience or you're a veteran trader like I am and just want a simple checklist to tell you exactly what to do in a methodical and proven way. I'll tell you, I would have paid $1 million for somebody when I was a brand new trader to look over my shoulder and say, no, do it this way first. No, don't do it that way. Do it this way. And that checklist is going to walk you right through the whole process. So we didn't reinvent the wheel today. You really didn't need any experience at all this morning if you had your checklist with you. And so immediately we typed up our plan. And so we saw right away that crude oil prices have been falling. And so as we drop, we're selling retracements. So the first thing we said this morning at 8 o'clock was we're going to sell retracements on crude oil. We also said that if we get all the way down to the lows of the price wedge, we want to buy those lows. Okay? Think about it. This was posted at 8 o'clock this morning, well before our first trade of the morning. Have you ever heard somebody say, plan your trades and then trade your plan? This is what we were doing. So we knew there would be a quiz today on crude oil, and we were preparing for the quiz to be given later in the morning. So now we have a plan. Now we know exactly what our plan is. This is what a professional trader needs to do, is prepare for everything. What if price rises? What if price falls? What if price trades sideways? And look what ended up happening. Here's the results for today. Now, I'm going to post all of these in much more detail on the blog a little bit later on. But look at how we've done today. What was the first thing we wanted to do? The first thing we talked about was selling short with retracements, wave patterns, on the way down. Now, the initial trade short earned me about 24 ticks. I tried to buy the lows once, took a small loss on it. We found ourselves at the lows. Price kept going lower. We took the trade short again. 45 ticks comes in for the third trade. We followed our plan specifically, selling retracements down to support. At support, I tried to buy. And just like we discussed in real time this morning, if I tried to buy and the buyers failed, it's screaming at us now that the sellers are still in control, and we got right back in and got short again. Now, that was nice. We earned about what, 600 bucks there, right? We earned about 60 ticks in a period of about a half an hour. Not a bad gig. Not a bad gig. We then had the big test, crude oil inventories. What did we talk about for crude oil inventories today? We have a specific strategy for trading crude oil inventories. They're usually at 10:30 on Wednesday, unless, of course, like last week, there's a holiday and they're all crammed into other days of the week. So this morning, we knew we had 10:30 news. We talked specifically about that 10:30 news and how we were going to trade it. What happened? The news came out at 10:30. What was it? Bearish. Demand was lower. Inventories were lower. Bearish news. So why on earth did we get long? Two reasons. The first reason, do you remember how our prep, how we planned our trades? Now we're trying to trade our plan. Remember that from earlier? Well, our prep told us to buy the lows of the wedges. Where do you think we were? Where do you think we were at 10:30? Luckily, I'm not an English teacher. We were at the lows of the wedge. What's the next reason why we got long? We were so convinced that crude oil was going to be bearish after that news came out. What happened? Price started rising. What? That was not in the plan. The plan was the news came out bearish, price was supposed to fall. And it didn't, so when it doesn't fall, ultimately, you've heard me say this a million times before, what should happen, if it doesn't happen, I've got to look at that as a huge clue. What should happen, if it doesn't happen, it's a big clue. Okay? If I'm waiting for the bus at the bus stop every day at 8 o'clock and it doesn't come at 8 o'clock, something's wrong. What's wrong? I need to find out. So something happened there at 10:30, and you may be one of those traders that wants to know everything, right? Maybe you felt like, but Joe, we don't really know why price went higher. You're right, and I don't care. I know that price, according to the news, should have been bearish, and it wasn't. Who cares? Do I really care? No. I'll wipe my eyes with $100 bills. Thank you very much. I don't care about knowing everything. What I do care about, though, is when it's happening. Now, remember this wedge? This was the wedge that we drew in the morning prep. And do you recall how we said we're going to buy the lows of that wedge? Look what we have here. Let me zoom in on it real quick. So we are selling short on the way down, just as I said before. We get below the wedge, one last trade short. That was that third trade of mine, right? The one that was below the wedge. Again, we looked to buy it. Remember, I took one long trade. I looked to buy. That didn't go anywhere the first time, so I backed away and went short. News comes out bearish. It doesn't go lower. It immediately goes higher. First clue. Second clue, price wedge. We expect price to go from top to bottom to top inside this wedge. And what we had talked about 2.5 hours earlier now comes completely front and center and ends up being a nice, big winning trade. We made 600 bucks on that last trade of the morning just by knowing how to follow the plan. I'll tell you guys, Monday and Tuesday this week, you might have made you think the sky was falling. It might have made you think this method wasn't very effective or that you weren't a good trader. We talked about this Monday and Tuesday. Whenever we come back from a holiday like that, there's going to be a little bit of a hangover, and that's exactly what happened. Today, I would say we made all that money we didn't make on Monday and Tuesday and some. An excellent day here today, guys, hitting our profit targets, hitting our daily goals, and just in time for taking all your questions, reviewing all the trades. Perfect execution of the plan today. I'm really proud of our members coming in, making money with me. It's been great to have all the new trial members in the room today. Got a bunch of new faces in the room today. I'm excited to talk to you. I'm excited to work with you. Don't be shy. Pick up the phone, call the office, tell them to get me on the call, and let's talk about what your trading's doing. Let's talk about what you're doing. Let's talk about how my pattern scanner can be used to manage your retirement account. Let's talk about how our automated systems can be used while you're learning the discretionary systems to get you making money right away. Let's talk about how I'm going to give you all the tools that you need to replicate all these results. So pick up the phone, jump on Skype, shoot us an email, whatever it takes. Get in touch with us. Now, members, I'm not done with you yet, though. We still got a couple hours of some training to do today. Want to thank you all for being here. Once again, my name is Joseph. This is another day in the life of being a professional trader in this trade room, making good money, had a little bit of fun along the way. And again, we'll see you guys tomorrow morning. Every morning, 7:30 a.m., the morning prep goes up on the blog. That gets my day started. 8 a.m. Eastern time, we're going up, we'll open the trade room up, and we begin our formal prep. We'll take a few more minutes to answer any final questions if you guys have any. Other than that, though, it's been a great day so far.